So we start recording. I'm going into The Price is Right, okay? T is the transmission heaven. This turns. How this turns the T, okay, is that it's two arms, one from the bottom, one from the top. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, velociraptor. It turns, okay? The price is right, okay? T-H-E. Rice, R-C-E. Ice, I-C-E. But if I go to write once, okay, the L looks like ice. Once I've only put a 1 here, and I said once. 1, C-E says ice. Rice, price, the price you pay. Carry the price. He. I gotta look myself. On the same time, okay, the okay, if you look on the angle of H-R-S, HRS, the number of hours, HRS, hours. Then you have to look at the PIS, the Pisces, the IRE. Instead of the IRA, electronic resident iRobot angel, it's the interior of the connection in our mind to have it somewhere else. So I'll just tell you it more. It's the price, it's the prize, it's the ice. Now when I turn it around, okay, and I use the letters for it, you see down here, 369 letters I use for it, for 369, because the price is the ice is the prize to the right. It says the price is right, so the right numbers, okay, are 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9, ESP, Earth, Saturn, Pluto. 3, 6, and 9, TSN. Why? I'll go back and show you. Where did I find that? First of all, you got to understand that the A can't go anywhere alone. It must be followed with an S. So it must always say your ass. Okay? Why? Because A and E are the first 5 block. And if you're not a 5, and you don't have all the directions, you'll end up to be just like this. And you won't know which direction to focus on, but now you have all these directions here. So it's EAS. EAS. And the 18th letter, which is the originality of the A, which is the letter R, the Chai in this world, is R. So if we take those letters, that the S and R, SARS, races, S, R says Isar, eraser. ES and R say eraser, ES, AS, AR, E-ray-ser. They are the 18th and 19 letters in the alphabet. 18 and 19 equals 37, exactly centered in Rubik's Cube. Now some of this might sound like, oh, bullshit what I do. But this is not bullshit what I do. This is matching numbers. That's all I'm doing. Hey, you got a 2, you got a 4, you got an 8. Now that I got the 8, I'm going to put it in its position. But if 2 shows up, now I have to branch out and find a place for 2. I'm playing games in my head. I don't need to play it on the board. The board won't give me what my hand will want, what my head will want from my hand. My hand and my head are not the same. Baltic, Oriental, Connecticut, 369. Also known as 4, 7, and 8. Also known as 4, 7, and 10, equaling to 21, because of the monopoly rules. They are games, my friends. I find the numbers, it's so easy with a dice. Then I put it to words to tell the story. Then I shake the story up because I want the truth in there. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm writing a book about nothing, with absolutely something to say about the nothing. Then I'm going to find the 2 sides and I'm going to make something about it. The price is right. The arrow is right. Bob, Barker, Bob, Barker, Bob, Barker, beta, animal, Bob Barker, the spading the dogs and the cats. Animals, the spading the dogs and the cats. Bob Barker, the spading the dogs and the cat. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. So now you're up for a tryout because you're a contestant. All you're challenging is the numbers and your head. They want to see how man works. Then they show Bob Barker on a golf course having a fight. You know how many hearts Bob Barker had to break in his own, knowing that the people had to leave there with empty-handed? That's why they always gave him a little something. They didn't just give him a little something for the people. So they would feel okay and say it was okay to show, I got a little gift. But they only gave the gift because of them, because of the manipulation that's going on between all of us at this period in time. Okay, the older people is just more or less what you see on the street and what you have to live with in your house. We're done, we're fried eggs, okay? If they can change their minds now, good luck. The only way you can change your mind is if you drive 100 miles an hour on the hard road, you're going to get a ticket. Remember the Celsius, remember Fahrenheit, remember the metric system. Remember weights and measures, because what you want to calculate is in weights and measures. You want to search for the value, you look into a game and see what they say about the game and see what the game says about itself. See what the money, how hard it is to get there. And then tear it apart and put it to numbers again. Find out where those numbers show up. If you have 25 games with 25 different ideas to what it is, or it's just a color, they can't all be wrong. They're all right in their own domains. So you break it up in domains, and that's why they gave you a domain name, so you can break things up in your work. So it's easier for you. The matrix is what makes all the satellites work. I always thought it was the opposite, but it's the matrix, powered by the upstairs sun. So that means thinking, and I could be wrong again, but the matrix, it's not under the ground in landlines. Did you see how they have to run it away to get away from there for the landlines? Going into people's houses? It's almost like the complete opposite. We're living in the real world, and they're living all underground. Secondary world, of course. All because of the movie, The Beautiful Mind. All because of the movies I watched. Let me go back. You want to see the difference between 3 and 5 and who you are? 3 and 5 right here, 5 and 3. Okay? This one and this one here will overlap over this one, and he will be in you and have his own life through you. Hold on, so this light is killing me. So imagine if that was you, you're a strand of DNA, and you were put in the middle of this. They already own you. All you are is in your own world. 101, 101, 101. They own you. They wrap you up and engulf you in whatever it is in the system. And it could be the water. Because when Moses turned the water red, Moses should have turned the water silver. Red brings blood. That man would be evil enough like God. Would he not make it into a skating rink? You understand what I'm saying? Something real bizarre. Make it into a skating rink. But right on in Egypt, a skating rink. They split the water, so if they control the water, just freeze the water. So if you freeze the water, now you take out the extra additive that is in the water, coming out from our third sun. The day is 16 hours and 8 hours in this world. There's another world in which it is another computer system they use. It's a 16-hour day. It's 64 minutes in every single hour, and every minute is 90 seconds. So the total is 1,440 minutes, or 12 times 12 on one dice. 12 times 12 on the other dice is 144. Times 4, because there's 4 corners, is 5,760. The year 2000. 12 years to ride the trains. They run on 5 and 2. They run on the 5, they run on the 2. Then they run on the 5 again. From 1999 to 2001. 2001 to 2006. 2006 to 2011, and now the balance of the time that was used. You're actually supposed to go 2000 and then show these two dice. I wanted to show you a different story, okay? That's just 2012. The first 6 moons, 72, and the next 6 moons, 72, 144. Why? Because that's what it says on the dice. So I'm talking about 2 different things. One is what is going to happen at the end of the year, which cuts off Jesus' birthday by 5 days. So they're cutting off because Jesus came before. So they take off the time it took for him to come and it finally lasted. They take off that time and now he's here, but he's not reconnecting to the next world. He's ending this world. And they need him to connect to the next world. There's more than one Christ. Everybody knows it. There's a Christ Almighty. There's a Christ fuck you. There's a Christ I can't believe it. I mean, you told me there's more than one, so I'm believing there's more than one. But I know there's one with the good heart, and it's the Christ that comes right down us. Not this Christ, okay? It's this Christ. The Y of your fingers, 2 eyes, onto your face. The Christ you came in with, it's all in your head. Or your balls. Well, George Carlin would call it his balls. He'd say it's all your fucking balls. And he'd say it's your fault. But he wouldn't blame anybody. It's not your fault. You can't see clear. Because you see clear. You see too clear. You miss everything in between. I just watched a video of Mark Rodin, and in 1 minute and 30 seconds I had to shut it off. This man is so powerful, you don't believe it. He shows us this big picture up on the wall on a screen, and the camera's going right through his body, but his body blocks, and it looks like it's cutting off his face, and all it's showing is writing on his face, and I see faces in his face. The faces in the faces are because of the images that are projected that are upon each of us. Then I looked into the backboard. He said there's more of something here than you can see, which reminded me of how I read through things. When I look at writing, especially if it's big and it's precise, if you can squeeze it a little closer together, it shapes people. And what Mark Rodin was reading had a man like this, like the Neon Man, right on the page. And he was not happy. He was like trapped into a world. I saw Mark Rodin, I see in that page, I read between the letters what's not there. The shapes come up into my eyes. And when I'm in the realm, I can see what it is, but you don't have to believe me. This is just a storybook. The freedom of the myth of Cesaret, the king of all kings, that brought one and all into this world, and all in one is about him, because when he died, I felt so sorry that I didn't go see him enough. And I suffered for years in my own shit, and that's my family tree. How can I talk about your family tree? Malkovich. We talk only about him. The movies, they talk about certain people. Well, I'm the main actor in here, and I'm speaking of the role of the totality of the roots in the ground. The tomatoes and spare ribs, the pigs in the pig house, the tomatoes on the vines, the chickens hung up at the abattoirs, all for the better of our own divine view of life. But that's okay, because somehow we have to eat things. And those things live in you. They're reborn in you. When you eat an animal, it's reborn in you. Whatever you eat, it's reborn in you. Are you just going to eat it? It's going to go right through you and go to the bathroom? So you ate for nothing? So that means we don't have to eat anymore, right? You understand what I'm saying? The animal's mind is now in your body. You have a stomachache. You ate the wrong thing, or you're the wrong animal. The spice of life. I still want to understand, okay, that long blade that they cut the grass in the rough is to find the balls, the golf balls that were lost. So the guy who comes out with that big blade to cut it off, he cuts the tops and he looks down because the ball will spread it open. Inside the thick grass, it'll spread open a space, and you look down, it'll be like finding a spaceship. So maybe he's cutting the grass down for that. Or he's cutting the grass because that's on top of our head and it grows and we think. See this? It's the baseball field. This and this. There's 6 connections in here. 3 eggs that are created to this baseball field over here. This is her jack, her hat. She wears a slanted hat, the queen. You gotta look at the cards. Okay? She's the winner of the baseball field. Her kids went out to play t-ball. And in t-ball, you made it easy. In the first years of man, you put the tee on the ball and the mother carried you around. I think, if I can't forget, that you get as many times to swing at that ball, and after that, once you miss that ball, you're out. I mean, you can swing, once the ball leaves the tee, you're out. It doesn't matter where it goes, now you gotta run. 7th inning, when we came to the bottom of the 6th, it was all over, it was getting dark, and it was 6:30 at night. So they all called in to let's sing a good game between all the kids. And the good game of all the kids became the 7th inning stretch in National League Baseball right now. And the stretch comes in the month of kraaft, 7-11, the biggest worry on the dice table. And 7 comes 4 is 11. 4 would be hoover, and 11 would be hoover again. Hoover this year. Barack Obama's in between. Hoover, 31, 44. Hoover from 4 to 11, move over 7 because I'm coming down. Herbert Hoover plays a game. Herbert Hoover's not insane. Herbert Hoover, y'all knows well when the crash went down in the well. So the well went down back in 29, and then in 2009 we had BPA, another well, another stil. Hoover, move on over. There's a new order coming in. So down goes one crash, and down it goes the other. Now the beavers have left. Who is now in the doghouse? We're now in Reno. What am I talking about? Can you split the dice, 7 and 7? Three, 4 is in between, but you know what the dice are going to be turning into? When you can go home with the light, but you can no longer think on your own. 1, 5, 2, 3, 4 in between. The only 3 that's there is that 3. This is an 8, not a 3. This 3 goes on top of it when they trap 9. If 1929 repeats in the crash, and the crash will repeat next. If the crash is to repeat, it must be after the 15th of October, 7 and 7 is 14, passage of the cross and Rubik's Cube. Down to the next Rubik's Cube, which is 27 away plus 1, is 42. So we now have to count 24 days. One side moves to the other side. So we get 15 and 16, we get the 8th, which is the day after the elections. We have 2 more days for the crash of the market because of what happened in the elections. But 7 days before that, I see the fish at the bottom there, Lake Mead. I see the polygamists have been turned into polygamists. And Lake Mead is their reflection. Lake Mead will rupture all by itself. No one will know why. But that's okay. A little bit of extra water down to Colorado to cool down everything. For the last of days, it is going to crash down on us so fast, but so slow. Because it was made, the system was made, so we see everything twice. So if we look at it, we'll say, oh, that happened before. But what you haven't seen twice is the end. So once we hit the end, and then it's over, you can breathe again. But I'm not telling you the story because we'd only be making it up of an external vision at this point. Raphael, 7286. 432 is such a huge number. 6 is on the other side of the track. 6 becomes 4 again. 3 is in the center and 2 is in the front. If you go 2, 3, 4, okay, from go, the first place is God's. If you connect on his line and go, okay, go would actually be go. Then you'd have the Mediterranean as 2, You have the communion chest is 3, and then number 4 would be the Baltic. Now, if you use the total number of 9, you'd end up with Connecticut. So 4, 3, 2, that joins 1 because the 3 dice in the 2 has a 1 in it. So right away you're allowed to say, I can put 1 inside 2. I can put 1 inside 2. And the way I put 1 inside 2 is this way. 1 inside 2. But you have to turn it also this way. There's a 2 this way and a 2 this way. That's why you get the 4 corners. 1 corner, 2 corners. Then you get the middle corner is 3. Then you get this corner is 4. And then you get this heart. This is the only one that doesn't look the same. This one here, once you put all your corners, if you draw it, it looks like general signs, okay? Once you put it up like this, you've made the general sign up and down, and then down and up. Now you've got them going up, down, and up, down. If you're going up, you're not closing them. They're all going up. If you're going down, there's only going to be one center. And what's that going to look like? This. Can you see it's the pages of a book? This part and this part are gone. This is also the letter K. It's also the letter B, and I can tell you a ton of stories, but I'm not going to search. I'm going to end up right here, up by S72. Remember, 16 hours in a day, awake, 8 hours of sleep, 24 hours of God. One situation. 4 days and 4 days from Wednesday, crossing backwards and forwards. Another day situation, creating Saturday and Sunday to join. Like the eggs in one, like the 2 eggs. That's what they are, the 2 eggs. Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, wow. Wow, look at that. They just became 2 eggs. Now this becomes the bird. In between is you. You fly with the 2 sides, it becomes 2 wings. This is the core of the bird, and these are the wings. I didn't spell it out the way you want to see it, but that's okay. So now you have also the metric day, which is 16 hours, which is 64 minutes in an hour, and it's 90 seconds to a minute. Why I put 90 seconds in it is because to equal everything, the 22.5 is the light, okay? Light of the electronics. 20 to 5, 20 to 5, 45. 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 Or I'll go all 90s. 4 by 90 is 360 all the way around. That's why I have the 16-hour day the way it is. 90 seconds. 90 times 15 is 135. 90 times 16. 90 seconds times 16 equals 900, and 540 equals 1440. 12 times 12 still brings in the clock. You have to divide the clock to 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay? So we have to run these hours also as 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days. That'll overlap the Wednesday now. Now you're starting at the beginning of the week and going on to the end of the week, which would be Saturday. Because don't forget, Friday is really the first day of the week. But Saturday we got our heart. Sunday, Monday we got into the world. We were only chosen on Tuesday by our parents because they chose our name. Chose the name on Tuesday, the name of the choosing. Choose name. You know why they had to choose a name? Because it goes with the DNA cycle and the parents making a decision together, so they mark it up. Angel, LF 041063, lives here, born this date, height this, length this. So these numbers I told you will link to the scoring in football, the size of the football fields, and to Celsius and Fahrenheit. They will also link to something I don't remember, which is the 613 laws of Moses, the 248 and the 365. Why we're missing the 0.25 is because it's us who's thinking before we make the move of anything. Our mind takes up 0.25. So a year is actually 359.75 plus the brain being in our body plus the brain going to work is 360.25. and the four corners of who we are makes 364.25, and the one spirit of the world, we have one spirit, 365 and a quarter. Because we're a whole, now we're thinking all the elements, the 25/25s, 8x25s, 8x45s, this is not my clock. They drew this. They made the baseball stadium. Look at the two eyes of the bird sticking out, removing the base in the center. The field is open. They designed this. Look at that. Our ass is in their grounds. Now, I'm not going to tell you about the whole thing, but if you look here, this will turn into a bird, and this will turn into a bird, because this is in God's house. So it's just you're in this house over here. You can go out to here and out to here, but you have to go all the way around and come back home. One, all around, here and home. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. The D is the field. You're in the field. It's your total emotion. So if anybody wants to know about time, ABCs, 4, 2, 3s, any number, because all I'm going to do is choose a couple of games. And you're going to play with me, because you're going to see how easy it is, and you're going to say, holy fuck, yeah, that does make sense. And of course it does. Because when you go 19 from go, you go to New York, when you buy it, whatever it says on there, you're going to believe charge your rent. You bought the property, and it's got to make sense in your head. That's all it is. All it is games people play. Up by the constellation of Pegasus. On behalf of all the Aztec prelates, the Mayan, everyone who has been here before, it's amazing that in my head, I believe we, me, and you will take this into the new millennium of 3000, because 2012 and all the numbers are gone. We are into the 13th year of the new millennium. Everybody's starting to wake up in the Hebrew calendar of 5773, overpassing the center of roulette, 16, 19, 17, 20, 18, 21. We are already on the other side. Now the bow is about to be clipped, and they're going to be clipped, and we're their only way out. They're going to want to exchange us as a sacrifice for his people. Let my people go, he said, and joking around because he knows the end of the game. Everybody suffers a little bit, only to see the new light and the coming of the age. And I'm not too sure if it's Aquarius, because Aquarius is an aquarium, and they have you trapped. Aquarius is to acquire. To be in the air and fly with an open wings, so Aquarius is now good. Finding the parts of my head to find out what the word's value is. Now, I don't have the astrological signs, but I am the hair. Why am I the hair? Because the only time H is allowed to come in and make a sound is with its brother. Its brother E for 85, and its brother R for 18. Why do I mention these numbers? Because H is silent. When it comes next to it, once you say H, you've said the whole word. And all H says is HR. It doesn't say anything else. It's a total of 26, the actual reverse of what the queen is. Now I'm going to probably go into that a little deeper, because the H is the arches that stuck out its arm on each side of the roulette table. Go to number 20, stick your arms out, pretend you're 17 and 20, make the whole box around 17 and 20, then make 3 lines like an E. Then box them in. You're in between, you own both sides. Center of the baseball. The pennant, the pen of people markings. Every time we mark something with a pen, it seems like what was in the pen was a computerized liquid. But every time we wrote, it wrote into their computers. That seems off the wall, doesn't it? But if we don't go off the wall, we'll never get to the wall, because off the wall is a touch. If you don't go to touch, you never stay in touch. Oh, I'm just putting words upside down. I'm telling you harmonically how things fit together in the harmonic world of thought. That's the way I think. I'm a musical instrument that I play my own. And I'm inviting everybody to come and play. But only serious, please. We could show all kinds of pictures, but try to keep to an area where everybody can see something within those pictures. You can say something to me and I can study it and tell you harmonically, phonically, by the phoenix words, how true it is. 2 arrows in one hand. The phoenix. Also seen on Bugs Bunny is a no good for. But that's okay. Okay, that's it, guys.